To attach the ramp to the landing, you will want to move the ramp to its proper location on the landing and adjust the legs to rest firmly on the concrete surface or patio blocks. Locate the ramp attachment clips provided. Line up the short slot on the clip with the first holes in the landing openings. Insert a 5/16 inch by 7/8 inch hex bolt with a flat washer in the short slot. Finish with a flat washer and a 5/16 inch lock nut on the opposite side and tighten down securely. Line up the longer slot in the attachment clip with the ramp. Drill a hole to fit a 5/16 inch bolt in this location. Insert a 5/16 inch by 7/8 inch hex bolt with a flat washer through the slot and hole. Attach a flat washer and a 5/16 inch lock nut on the opposite side and tighten down securely. Some PVI modular ramp systems feature a stair unit. The following instructions will show you how to construct a 2-step stair unit. These instructions will also apply to a 3- or 5-step stair unit. Lay out your components to make sure you have everything you need. Refer to the parts list in the instruction manual to familiarize yourself with the various parts. Place 2 lower frame rails, right and left, on the floor with the 1.5 inch face of the angles facing each other. Place 2 post tread planks in between, with a single hole on the post tread plank facing toward the back. Line up the holes with the holes in the lower frame rails. Insert a 5/16 inch by 7/8 inch hex bolt with a flat washer into each of the holes connecting the lower frame rails to the post tread plank. Finish with a lock nut on the opposite side and slightly tighten. Connect the post tread plank to the upper frame rail. Place one upper frame rail on each side of the stairs with the large notch facing towards the front of the step and the 1.5 inch lip on top facing out. Align the upper frame rail with the bottom hole facing toward the front of the post tread plank. From the inside of the stairs, insert a 5/16 inch by 7/8 inch hex bolt and flat washer into each of the holes connecting the upper frame angle to the post tread plank. Insert a slide nut on the opposite side. Now you have successfully assembled the basic stair frame. To install the 35.5 inch posts, lift the post up to the post tread plank so that the slide nuts on both sides line up. With the welded tab on the post facing the inside, slip the slide nut in the inside groove of the post. Continue sliding the post down into the other slide nut until the welded tab on the post sits directly on top of the post tread plank. Repeat the same steps with the remaining posts. You only need to tighten the top bolts on the post tread plank that connect the post to the post tread plank. Attach the hardware to these legs using the same procedures as you did on the landing and ramp. The longer legs will always go on the back 35.5 inch posts. Attach the legs to the posts by sliding the slide nuts into the outside groove of the post as shown here. Finger tighten to keep them in place. To attach the handrails, begin with the lower 1.5 inch by 3/4 inch handrail. Insert a 5/16 inch by 1.5 inch hex bolt with flat washer into the holes with a slide nut on the opposite side. With the shorter end of the handrail tube toward the bottom of the stairs, line up the slide nuts with the inside groove of the posts. Slide the lower handrail down approximately halfway. Finger tighten the slide nuts to keep it in place. Repeat this process for the remaining lower handrail. Take an upper handrail and insert a 5/16 inch by 7/8 inch hex bolt with flat washer into each hole on the brackets and place a slide nut on the opposite side. Line the slide nuts up with the top of each post, placing each slide nut in the grooves on each side of the post. Slide the handrail down until it rests on top of the posts. Tighten down all of the bolts on the handrail. Repeat this process for the remaining handrail. You have now completed the basic assembly of the stair unit. At the location on the landing where the stair unit will be placed, 42-inch posts will be utilized on the landing. The 42-inch posts will be placed on the landing in the same manner described earlier in this video. In the stair bracket, insert a 5/16 inch by 7/8 inch hex bolt with flat washer into the round hole and place a slide nut on the opposite side. This component is then installed on the lower inside face of the 42-inch posts. Slide this up and then finger tighten. Repeat this step with the remaining bracket. With the stair brackets installed, line the stair up with these brackets. Pick up the top step until the hinge on the lower frame angle on stairs line up with the slot on the 2-inch leg of the stair bracket. Insert a 5/16 inch by 1 3/4 inch hex bolt with flat washer through the hole and hinge using a flat washer and 5/16 inch lock nut on the opposite side. Repeat this process on the remaining stair bracket. Adjust to the required height. Make sure everything is level and all the bolts are all tightened. Anchor the stairs to the existing concrete surface or patio blocks through the holes provided in the base of each leg. Congratulations! You've completed construction on your new PVI modular ramp system. Please continue with the video for an important safety note. In order to use your PVI modular ramp system safely and efficiently, please note this important instruction. Prairie View Industries' modular ramp system can be constructed to meet ADA recommendations, which require a 1:12 slope ratio. Prairie View Industries recommends that you not exceed a 2:12 slope ratio for occupied chairs or scooters, or a 3:12 slope ratio for unoccupied chairs or scooters. For public access building slope requirements, please check your state codes. To calculate the ramp requirements, take the total amount of the rise and divide by the desired slope ratio to determine the required length of the ramp needed in feet. For example, if you desire a 2:12 slope ratio, divide the rise by 2 and the resulting number would be 6, which would represent the length of ramp you would need in feet. A 1:12 slope would require a ramp that is the same length as your rise. So in our example, for a 12-inch rise, you would need a 12-foot ramp. Thank you again for choosing a PVI modular ramp system. If you have further questions about the assembly or use of your ramp system, please call your PVI authorized dealer or contact a PVI technician at 1-800-554-7267.